Hi there, it's Matt Heffernan. Welcome back to my channel for one last time in the year of 2021. At the beginning, like it had been said before, I had a feeling that 2021 would be a good year. And it turned out to be a pretty great year for my channel. Maybe not a great year for everybody, but at least as far as my channel is concerned, it was a pretty good year. So let's take a little quick look back at where my channel was at the beginning of this year and the years leading up to it. So from the time I actually started my channel, well, not really started my channel, but when I created my first YouTube account back in 2006, I did not have a whole lot through the end of 2019 when I actually started, putting out content that people were responding to. And you can see here throughout all that time, for over 13 years, I only managed to get 11,000 total views on my channel, and I had about 52 subscribers at the end of 2019. And as you can see, it was really this patch of activity in 2019 when I, especially that second bit at the end of the year, when I really started putting out a lot of content for the Commander X16, and that's what really started driving folks to my site. So I continued that. I started taking the channel seriously, and through 2020, I grew the channel bit by bit, and as you can see, constantly putting out videos throughout the year of 2020, and by the end I had gotten over 400 subscribers. I hit 500 shortly after 2020 ended, like the first week of January of 21. But you can see in all of 2020 I had still only 29,000 views, and my subscriber count was still in the hundreds, but it, like I said, it grew throughout. But this year, 2021, yeah, things got a lot bigger. I had over a 250,000 views in 2021, and this doesn't include the last couple days of the year because of when I capture this data and when I'm recording this video. So it should be probably a little higher. And I added 6.6 thousand subscribers. And in fact, by the time you're seeing this, I may have hit 7,000 subscribers. I'm very close. I'm like one or two away. I was like 6,998 subscribers last I checked. And 33,000 hours of people wasting their precious time watching me drone on about 8-bit things. And what also happened in 2021 is my channel became part of the YouTube partnership. So I make a few pennies from this site. If I did a small fraction of the work I actually put in to make this channel and didn't spend any money, I'd almost be making like a week's worth of minimum wage when it's all said and done. So yeah, the big money train has not started rolling in yet, as far as YouTube is actually concerned. And so I did have that big spike, as you can see there, in early May. It was actually it started in late April, and I had that big spike, and things have been riding high. That's where those thousands of subscribers started coming in, and that was my first video on the Z80, which is still far and away the most popular video I've ever put out. And I've been building on that there, and you can see little periods of gaining in views and interest. But of course, you can also see from September into October the bit of the hiatus that I had on my channel as I was physically moving my body, family, and possessions, and I'm starting to regain some of that momentum here. And once we get into the new year, get past the holidays, we're going to see a lot more cool stuff happening in 2022. But still, what's happening generally, unless I have another wacky sort of anomaly like that first Z80 video, most of the revenue I get for my creations is from Patreon. And it's oddly enough, my Patreon growth peaked right before my channel peaked, and it kind of has petered out. As you can see, I've lost some patrons, but we'll talk about we'll talk more about that later. But anyway, it's still growing very slowly. And now, in terms of what was actually bringing folks to the channel in 2021, of course, like I said, that big one is that first Z80 video. I still have no idea why this video is by far the most popular video I've ever put out. I mean, I think it's a pretty good one. I don't know if it's the best video I've ever made, but it's the one video where at like 13 minutes long, people are actually staying for half of it, slightly more than half of it on average, which YouTube has rewarded with featuring it in the algorithm, or at least it did for a couple weeks, where it was actually pushing it to people, and my channel got a lot of visibility, which it never quite saw again. But you do see a lot of the Z80 based content, like the first episode of the assembly language tutorial that number one video was supposed to just be promoting. It's like, hey, this series is coming out, be on the lookout, and it just sort of blew up on its own. And it has more views than the whole series put together at this point. And then, yeah, that SmackDown, first SmackDown series where I was sort of pontificating about that. Well, that just happened to have hit YouTube at the peak interest in that first video. So that one I think is a bit artificially inflated. And but then we can see the stuff from 2020 is still holding on. The Commander X16 content is still a pretty big part of my viewer base, and as you can see, the number 4, 5, 7, 9, and 10. So fully half of the top 10 are still Commander X16 either focused or included videos. Of course, that 8-Bit Battle Royale also has Spectrum and Commodore content in it. But the Spectrum content is, really driving a lot of the traffic these days, especially the assembly language tutorial series, my first Hello World thing for that, but still getting a lot of views from both of these communities, and there's a fair amount of crossover. So what we're going to see in 2022 is a lot more of this content. I'm still not done with either of the assembly language tutorial series. There are still episodes to come for the Commander X16. I know I haven't put out any in that for quite a while, but that is due to some issues right now with the Commander X16 in terms of the ROM release. Once there is a stable ROM release that addresses certain issues, I'll be able to get back to doing that tutorial series. And I don't want to jump the gun on putting out series on topics where the actual final behavior is not fully defined yet. And I don't want to create something that is going to be moot by the time the actual hardware comes out. And of course, that's the other big issue with the hardware, is like everything in our sort of post and now again mid-pandemic economy, is the supply chain shortages for integrated circuits. And the not just the FPGA that drives the Vera daughter board, but just a lot of just the general chips that are really just pretty simple 8-bit type chips. The actual availability for them is really constrained right now. And a lot of the parts that are needed to be able to populate the current prototype of the Commander X16 are on back order for months and months. So even if all the software issues were just magically resolved right now, there just wouldn't be the actual chips to put on boards to sell to people. So hopefully 2022 sees some of this production ramping up, seeing the pandemic finally start waning, people getting vaccinated, and these newer variants becoming milder as they appear to be. Hopefully all of these things sort of work together to start re-achieving some normalcy. And that's what we'll see, is that they'll have more of that content. I'm still heavily in the middle of the Spectrum series. I hope to be acquiring a Spectrum next once those become available again. Of course, I'm sure that will have similar issues of availability for that supply chain. And we'll see what happens. And there's a few other things up my sleeve that we will be seeing in 2022, hopefully, including progress on games that I'm creating and some new series that I'm planning on. So I hope you stick around. And if you like seeing more videos like these, I hope you subscribe to my channel and like this video, like the other videos, and check out what else I have. But meanwhile, let's run us out here. We're gonna take a look at the folks who are still contributing here on my Patreon. And these folks are going to be able to see this video and all my videos before they go to the public. They get the first crack at it, and they help provide feedback. And we get to have a lot of good communication and determining the direction for my channel. Give me all sorts of great feedback. And if you want to have that sort of connection to some of the content I'm creating, the Patreon is the best way to do that. So go ahead and join these folks, and if not, it's free to subscribe here on YouTube, or you can join as a YouTube member. I do have that supported on my channel, and that can give you some similar benefits to the Patreon if you prefer to do that. But again, just subscribing is free. Watching my videos is always going to be free, except for patron exclusive videos, and you can get some of those, get a little added value, and some other goodies that are in there if you want to go check that out. All right, so here's to a very bright, at least in terms of my channel's somewhat humble form of success in the year of 2021, and hopefully things get even better with 2022. All right, and I hope that you and your family are going to have a happy, safe, and healthy new year. All right, take care. Bye-bye.